this video, we are going to look at the camera, But for this video, we are going to be reading some Reddit Let's Not Sleep or Can't Sleep or something like that. I'll have to look back at it. But I'll just be reading some scary stories. I haven't done this in a while, and I've been consuming it a lot lately, so I wanted to do another one. I door-sized crack in the wall, just a large mid-40 to 50-year-old man standing behind the door. I remember furrowing my brow for a half second in my confusion, thinking the child version of, what the fuck that, and continued to hold my pee. Thankfully, I lost the urge. Oh, and I forgot to mention these were single occupancy restrooms. No. That is terrible, especially as a kid. Oh no. The fact that there's just someone waiting by the door to see if someone's able to just like walk in and close the door, but by then it's too late, they're already trapped. No. That is a little scary. Let me see. So we could do, you know what, we do have time for this longer one, so let's get into this one. This one is r/no sleep. So the title of this story is I Wish My Son Was Found Dead. He was kidnapped in 1999. Last night, he came home. By Reddit user Dreadful NC. Back in 1999, my son Levi was taken from his room in the middle of the night. My wife Kinsley and I were sitting downstairs watching television when my son's scream rattled the entire house. It was a sound that I continued to hear every minute of every day. When we ran into his room, everything appeared to be normal. There wasn't even a single wrinkle on his bedspread. The only thing missing was him. Shortly after, life became a living hell. The authorities questioned us relentlessly about his disappearance, and I don't blame them for their ruthless persistence. What had happened simply couldn't be explained, and if I were the detectives, I would have thought my wife and I did it too. That's what the rest of the community thought. The mystery surrounding the case drove me insane. Every day we had reporters beating down our doors demanding answers about my son's disappearance. Having those vultures swarm my home enlightened me to a definition of hate that I did not understand. A hate so pure that murder was constantly on my mind. Okay, relax. Everywhere I turned, stories of my son were painted across the front pages of local news outlets. Levi's name printed in bold. The Town Gazette constantly printing pictures of Kelsey and I, wet with tears at our absolute worst, tossing them on the porches of every home in our community. I couldn't escape. The agony of the situation slowly tore my marriage apart. Kelsey left her job and never went back. Her full-time gig became spending her days crying on the couch. It was harrowing. As for me, I would be a liar if I didn't say I became acquainted with the taste of gunmetal on a few occasions. Every day felt like my heart was being trampled, squeezed in a vice, and robbed me of my oxygen. Life was a misery. Misery was life. The depression that painted the walls of our house quickly seeped into our pores, causing routine fights between my wife and I. We were each other's safety nets, but we began taking every opportunity we could to take a razor to the webbing. At first, the fights were monthly, then weekly, until the screaming and vicious altercations became a daily event. When we decided to separate, my world imploded. Kelsey was my everything. The love for one another ran so deep, but my son's disappearance proved to be enough heat to dry up the well. For a while, we spoke on the phone every now and then, always a great conversation. But when we discussed the possibility of getting together, we both agreed the encounter would resurface far too much pain. Somewhere inside of me, there is still love for her, and I frequently fantasize about us being together again one day. After some time, the calls voice rattling the walls, the battering from the kitchen, and my loud, clumsy feet dancing across the hardwood, I thought I heard a knock at my door. I turned on the music and looked at the clock in the microwave. It was 8:30 and already pitch black. I stopped my breathing to listen closely. The knocking rattled the door once more. I'll be first to admit that when an unsolicited knocker came to my door, I immediately turned into a wimp and go into hiding. A grown man cowering behind his kitchen counter, afraid of a knock at the door. What a sight. I patiently waited while crouched down on my kitchen floor, hoping to hear nothing but silence. When the doorbell rang, I recoiled, my heart unsure if I wanted to continue beating. This is so dramatic. Waiting it out until the person on the other side went away was no longer an option. The rapping became quicker and louder, my heart beating in synchrony with the rapid knocks. The knocks, blah 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 blah. I grabbed my chef's knives, stuck it between my belt, and swallowed my anxiety. Ran towards the door with such ferocity, ready to attack whatever was on the other side. I put my hand on the doorknob and felt the energy from the other side transfer into my bloodstream and pulsate behind my eyes. Oh my freaking, I don't know if I could read this. Back in the day, it used to be so prestigious. Something that you could say with 3 words, if you could make a chapter out of it, was like, you're super smart. It was a way of gatekeeping knowledge or whatever. But nowadays, it's an art to be able to say more with less. There's just way too many details in here, and honestly, it's annoying me. Like, some things are just so unnecessary or repetitive, and I'm just like, oh, just open the door. When I opened the door, I felt the heat in my body get sucked out through my feet, blah blah blah. On the other side of the door was my son. He hadn't aged a day. When I came to, blah 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 blah. Oh, I guess when he came to, the sun disappeared. Okay, I think this is like about like the ghost of his son or something, but I don't know. Just even reading through it, it looks like he tried to call his wife, but then he heard a whisper saying, "Don't call mommy," and a crash from the basement. You're welcome. That was it. That was just, they're doing too much. I don't like that kind of writing. Anyway, we're back to Let's Not Meet. The story is called I Either Helped Somebody Out or Got a Felony by Unrestricted. I work at a rest truck stop in MA in the USA. There's a 24-hour bathroom and gas station in this truck stop. One day after work, when my restaurant closed at midnight, I decided to go and sit with my friend who works at the gas station, Jake, for the story about 30 years old, as I usually did from about 12 to 2 to 3 a.m. It was an average night at the beginning, as there were not many customers. I sat there and drank my beer and relaxed while he fared with the customers buying gas and scratchers. At about 1:30 a.m., there were some more customers coming in. I saw 2 cars park around the same time, one at a gas pump, one in the front of the store. Obviously, this is normal, as we always looked towards the front door when somebody drove up, especially because we'd either be smoking pot or doing something else. I remember hearing the vehicles pull up and looking upwards towards the customers a few seconds later. I saw a lady walking from the pumps with what looked like a young girl, likely related to her, and another car parked in front of where the clerk's window is. I saw the woman walk up to the door with her daughter, and then strange when I watched his eyes veer to the left and suddenly let go of the front doors as he quickly decided to speed around the corner. Like I said already, I saw this woman's daughter go in that direction, which is the only way to any other section of the truck stop at this point, the bathroom, and so I looked at my friend, who was keeping company during his 10 p.m. 6 a.m. shift. I said quietly but also decidedly loud, "Does that look weird?" He looked at me with eyes that said more than words, with the swift saying, "It does to me. It would to me too." Keep in mind, a lot of MA state troopers pull up to this location as there are very little rest stops within 20 miles, as we are in a more urban area. No trooper pulled up this time, however. I didn't know much of what to do, so I turned around as the mother bought items and I opened the doors that led into the dining room of the rest stop. Since I worked at the fast food restaurant here for 4, I knew about almost everything. You mean for 4 years? I just walked slightly around the corner and peeked past the ATM where both of the bathrooms were. When you first walked into the 24-hour restrooms, the immediate left is the men's restroom. If you continue to walk about 8 feet farther past the wall and look to your left, you'll see the women's room. So I slightly hid myself and looked through the glass door, which we had locked about 3 hours and 30 minutes before. I didn't really see the woman's daughter pass, but when I looked up, I could see the same man clearly passing right by the first hallway where the men's restroom was, into the hallway where there was no room except the women's room. I watched until I really knew he had certainly entered the restroom. I really did not want to take any chances. I unlocked the door. You already took a chance by allowing him to go into the women's restroom. Are you kidding me? Okay. I unlocked the door and I pushed myself through, and the women's restroom door was already closed. Okay, I thought locked. On CCTV footage, all you can see is me push the door open with an arm cocked back, slightly moving, then the door closes. I ended up punching a man in his face, and I kicked him on the side of the head. He fell backwards and hit the back of his head on the sink. I got completely terrified and called 911, our emergency service. I would have waited like 5 minutes, at least, before calling 911. I told him I had assaulted a man in the women's restroom of our local truck stop, but I thought it was for a good reason. Of course, it was for a good reason. State troopers have arrived after not even 3 minutes. I already had my hands up in the gas station and air section. They asked me what had happened, and I told them everything. After the state's troopers witnessed the CCTV footage recorded by the gas station into the restaurant bathroom, they made a decision. The state troopers came up to me and said any driver who was stopped by a law enforcement officer for a traffic violation and is not wearing a safety belt can be fined $25, and charged me a $25 fine. I will not name any officers that were involved in this situation. What? I do not know what happened to the possible creep, and frankly, I really will never care for the rest those whispers out of this. Let me know if you did understand that story, because I most definitely did not. Like, why did they get fined $25, and did the mom say anything? Did the daughter say thank you? Like, I'm so confused. It's giving, this never happened. But who am I? Who am I? And I feel like that's why I like the podcast Let's Not Meet. Because they probably do all that editing and stuff before sharing the story, versus Reddit, you just get the original unedited version. But anyways, I will end the video here. Thank you so much for watching, and I promise the next one will be a lot better. I'm never doing this again. Getting stories without reading them first. I want to have like first reactions when we're reading it together, but clearly these stories aren't panning out, and I get confused and frustrated at the writing. So yeah, anyways, thank you for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. We're almost at 10k. I think once I reach 10k, I will do another live stream. I haven't done a live stream, I think, since I hit 1 or 5k. I can't even remember. But yeah, thank you for your continuous support, and I hope to see you